We are taking your questions. Next up, we are diving into the crypto craze. Red hours across the board today, and our next viewer wants to know how to play it.
Hi, this is Brian from Oregon, and I have a question regarding Coinbase. I have been buying into Coinbase since its direct listing in April. I'm down 14%. It seems to be trading with the cryptocurrencies, but Coinbase is an exchange for crypto, has barely touched its total addressable market, and should be making money regardless of how crypto is trading. I'm a long-term investor. Should I hold on to it or even add to it? Thanks.
Joining us now to help tackle that question is Dan Dolev. He covers Coinbase at Mizuho. He just put out a note today saying this could be the last hurrah for Coin. Dan, welcome to the show. Why the last hurrah?
Well, if you think about this name, it basically trades on crypto volatility. So they make a lot of money when people buy and sell. What we've seen is that in April and May, you've had a huge blimp in volatility, and it kind of died out in June. So-called crypto winter is happening right now. So what we expect is going to happen if this volatility continues to be very subdued into July, August, and September, you're going to get upward revision of estimates for the second quarter, but then you're going to get simultaneously downward revisions for the third quarter and potentially down the road. So if our playbook continues, there will be a crypto winter, a lingering crypto winter, which we've actually figured out in a survey that we did recently. And that doesn't bode well, or actually bodes poorly for Coinbase revenue. So I wouldn't recommend actually holding on to it. We're neutral, but we have downside from the price where it's trading today.
Haven't the seasons in crypto, haven't they been shortened just because there are more participants? And I'm asking because I think Tom Lee of Fundstrat just said this the other day, that he believes that even a winter will be much shorter, and that over time these winters have been shorter. And so why should we think that this is going to be long enough for it to actually impact the whole back half of the year?
Look, the answer is nobody really knows, right? And nobody really knows what the future beholds on crypto. But what I do think here is that at the end of the day, even if the volumes go up, the take rate or the yield continues to come down. So we've seen a consistent degradation of the yield over time. And that's for various reasons. One, there's more institutional, and institutional actually pays a much lower fee. Two, there's a lot more Coinbase Pro on the system, and Coinbase Pro comes in at a much lower fee than the regular Coinbase. And by the way, it's free, so anyone can actually transfer from regular to Coinbase Pro. And three, over time, we expect more competition from the Cash App, from Venmo. We've done a survey that shows that 40% of Coinbase traders of Bitcoin actually trade Bitcoin on other platforms. So I think over time, you're getting a lot more negatives than positives impacting the yield and the competition, and that's going to drag down revenues regardless of whether it's a winter or not.
So I was going to ask you about some of the other platforms which you've been bullish on, like a PayPal, for instance. So if there is this crypto winter and volatility gets compressed, do we also see the negative impact on some of these platforms as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, the tide lifts all boats and vice versa. I do think that they're a little bit more insulated if you think about the Cash App. So Bitcoin is only about 8% of gross profit on the Cash App, 4% of gross profit overall, including their point of sale system. For PayPal, that number is even lower. So of course, when Bitcoin revenues dwindle, that hurts everyone. But I think it's the degree of reliance on a single source of revenue that's a little more muted for the other platforms. Plus, I think that both, Cash App and PayPal, we hosted the top guys from their crypto initiative last week for a meeting, and they have some very far-reaching long-term thoughts about blockchain, which I think are really interesting. So it sounds like they're thinking beyond just any coins, and they're thinking about how can they utilize blockchain to get people in the door for PayPal. So I think the play there is a much longer play beyond any specific coin.
Dan, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Dan Dolev of Mizuho. Let's trade this. Let's first tackle Coinbase. James, what do you say?
I say when I looked at the prospectus before the IPO and then looked at the Q, the second quarter numbers, first quarter numbers, eye-popping numbers, the trades they can do, piggybacking the crypto space, but there is a coinciding of an all-time high on Bitcoin with the IPO, and anytime you have an IPO in a really hot market, potentially the peak of that market, that investment in the IPO can be problematic. And it raised my eyebrows that you're only down 14% because this has so much downside risk to it relative to the IPO price. I think that given the volatility in crypto, there may be an abatement of that bullish tone, and that may translate into lower fees for Coinbase. obviously with such an amazing IPO, such amazing initial numbers, there's a lot to keep up with. I think the tape says that all of this is going to continue to see pressure.
Tim, would you rather Coinbase or Bitcoin?
Oh, wow, great question. I mean,
say
look,
neither.
I think
You
what
could say
Dan pointed
neither.
can I? I didn't know. I thought an answer was required. But look, Bitcoin, because I think you've got a dynamic. What was just introduced in terms of the competitive landscape is very real. I mean, one of the reasons why, if you'd asked me, or Square, I might even, despite hating that valuation, the Cash App, the stickiness, being able to do whatever you want on the Cash App is part of the magic of the Cash App. But back to Coinbase. Look, I don't hate the story. By the way, the chart, at least for now, looks Coinbase is basing around 210, 220, 230, something like that. They're going to convert a lot of interested investors into active. They're absolutely going to be able to offer other products. The fact that they've grown their customer base so dramatically doesn't mean that those people leave their platform. I think they're in a position to start offering other services that other online brokers offer, and possibly in the crypto space, possibly in more traditional financial services. But look, if you think Bitcoin is topped, then I don't think you want to own Coinbase. If you think Bitcoin's going through a winter and a correction, and it is what it is, whatever the timing is, and maybe it got ahead of itself, and maybe it's not going to 100,000 this year. But you can't own Coinbase if you think Bitcoin's best days are behind it, because you've got a view on crypto that's not going to be consistent with an exchange, the leading exchange, be able to extend itself.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.